All right, guys, what's up? How's it going? Welcome. Today I almost made it right at 9:15 Eastern. It ended up being 9:16 when I got started. If you can hear my voice, I'm telling you, some front came in this week, and my allergies are insane. I'm waking up and like every joint in my body hurts. Everything hurts. It's in pain. It's a little bit rough, but I'm gonna be here. But a quick lesson before I get into the actual parable for today is I started at 9:16 Eastern today. Just checking to make sure we're good on Facebook. We're good. I started at 9:16 Eastern. Now, I talk all the time about high standards. Here's a cool thing, again, is today I was 1 minute short of my standard. I was going to start at 9:15. I didn't make it downstairs to get started until 9:16. That means I have failed to meet my standard. And you might say, Woody, why are you beating yourself up? I'm not. I'm actually really excited because I got so close, and I'm here sharing with all you guys, and we're going to make a difference and have an impact and all this, and I'll always be here at 9:15 Eastern every morning. But the beauty is, I still failed my standard, and so I get to grow, and I get to get results, but I don't have to worry because I'm not allowed to worry until I'm perfectly meeting my standards over and over again. And my standard is to stream starting at 9:15 Eastern every day for 1,000 days in a row, right? And if I can't do that, then whatever. So it's like back to day zero. And it sounds crazy, but this way I'm always happy because it's not like my fault. I'm just still growing. It teaches you that you're still growing, you're still learning. But today I think I've got a really cool parable for you. This is one I often used in my relationship, and I used to use it in some misguided ways, but it actually helped me really understand. I wouldn't even call it misguided, and it is the parable of the jump roping, okay, or the metaphor, or the whatever the heck you call it, jump roping. So when Preetha and I used to get in spats, and remember, I used to have tons of anxiety. We don't get in big spats anymore. I mean, we still do occasionally, but nothing like we used to. We used to get in spats all the time, and in the past, whenever I wanted, I would be so needy, and I would want, the exact words of affirmation from her, and I would want her to tell me exactly how perfect I was, and blah, 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 and I was, so freaking needy. But I'm a words of affirmation person, right? Love languages, words of affirmation, and so it made sense. But I was just so insecure. And so in 2016 or 2017, when we were first living together, getting married, and I was really insecure, I would always tell her it felt like, she would, let's say, I would say something really meaningful to me, and she would go look at her phone, right? It happens all the time. That's just life, right? That's not her fault. But I would feel hurt, and I would say it, and she'd be like, why would you be so upset? I just looked at my phone for a second. I broke eye contact with you. Who cares? And I mean, she was pretty much right. But me being needy, what I said, and I was really onto something here, is I said, well, I know it's just one thing, but it feels like it's building up on other things. And this is also, by the way, a great example of how to consider microaggressions and racism in life and against other minority type people. Is it feels like you're jump roping and you just keep hitting yourself over and over again. But let me explain a little more. So when I was in college, I was on the tennis team, and we would jump rope to warm up for every practice. But there was just one problem, is that these jump ropes, whatever jump ropes my coach had, they hurt if you messed up. If I skipped a rope or whatever and it hit my back, it would leave a welt. And so I was kind of scared of jump rope because they were these big rubber jump ropes that would fly really fast, and if I mess up, it would whack me in the back. And now if you're jump roping and you mess up once, it's not a huge deal, right? It's not the end of the world. It's okay, well, it hurt, but whatever. But imagine you're jump roping for 10 minutes straight, and you keep messing up, and you keep hitting yourself, right? First time, it doesn't hurt that bad. Third time, it hurts a little bit, right? By the 10th time, it's you got all these welts, and you're jump roping on a welt, and it hits again, and it really hurts. And at that point, it just hurts and hurts and hurts, and it's so, painful. And then you live in fear, right? Then you can't go lay down at night because your back has a bunch of welts, right? Can't even do simple things. And so this is the metaphor that I was using with Preetha, a little bit misguidedly, meaning, we'll get into this, right? But this is a metaphor I was using with her when I would say something and want her to respond in a way and she wouldn't. I would say, but I've wanted you to respond that way for 20 times. That's why it hurts so much, because I'm just begging you, please get what I'm saying. And that's where most of my fights in my relationship came from, was me being really needy and insecure and wanting her to say the exact right thing to me. And so, yeah, that happened all the time, daily. And I kept coming up with this jump rope metaphor. I even drew her a picture. I used to make us have a thing called feelings time, where we'd talk about our feelings, and I would draw pictures, like a 6-year-old or 4-year-old, not kidding. But anyway, right, that was all cool because it helped me discover this jump roping thing. And so I want you to know that whatever you're upset about, right, as we go back into the idea of having standards, right? If you had the highest standards possible, you would know that there's never a reason to be mentally upset. There's never a reason to be emotionally upset, right? You can be sad, you can be tired, you can be all these things, but you can still be joyful and peaceful and in the moment while you're doing them, right? Because, I mean, there's no reason to create negativity in your own mind. And yet I was. Every time I would have a conflict or every time I would be frustrated, I'd feel like I was getting jump roped, and like this conflict in my own mind was getting more and more painful and more negative, right? Like it was getting worse every time. And so I was really onto something when I discovered that. Because then as I did more spiritual reading, and of course, my favorite book ever, Michael Singer talks about this in The Untethered Soul, right? And this is something he teaches about, but just I'm keeping it simple with the jump roping for you guys. Something I discovered is I was holding all these grudges in my mind or something, and these desires, and then boom, like every time it wasn't met, it would hurt worse. And so my guess is for you, there's negativity in your life, and where it comes from, the worst parts of negativity are actually when things get worse and worse over and over on the same thing. Because chances are, if somebody does something bad to you once as a one-off, like, you don't really remember, right? You don't really care. Like, you're in traffic and you get cut off one time, you don't even really care. But if you're in traffic and the same driver cuts you off like 3 times, switching from lane to lane to lane to lane, and they're like always one step in front of you, like switching and cutting you off and tailgating you, right, or something, then you probably get irritated because it's that same person doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so what I want you to maybe get out of this parable is that the way out of negativity and self-doubt and fear and all this stuff, the way I've come out of it, is by learning how to heal my jump rope scars faster than I get them, okay? And this is why it's so tricky, is because life is constantly giving you negative feedback or challenges. And so, if I were jump roping and I was giving myself a scar, what would you say? You'd say, stop jump roping, put some, healing salve on it, wait until it heals, and then pick a different jump rope that doesn't hurt your dang back, right? Isn't that what you'd say? And so that's pretty close to real life, except here's the thing. You can't just quit on real life. My jump rope equivalent was not getting the words of affirmation I wanted from my wife in 2016, 2017. I can't just be like, yeah, well, we were going to get married, but, I decided that I don't want my feelings to get hurt, so I'm going to go and, leave you and move to Montana and live in the hills and, become a farmer or something. I don't know, right? You can't do that in real life. Obviously, that's not what I want. And so the trick in real life is how can you decelerate your jump roping, still get by, still not get in trouble, still keep going, right? But how can you decelerate the impact of the pain and heal faster than you get hurt? That's all it is, right? There's something called a breaking point. And at anything in life, this is the way the laws of physics work, is at some point, right, the balance shifts. And so right now, if you have any negativity in your life, it's because your balance is shifted heavier towards jump roping and hitting yourself than it is towards healing yourself. And so if you get to the point where even if you're still getting hurt on a daily basis, even if you still have challenges, if you're healing at a faster rate than you're getting hurt, then every day becomes beautiful. And again, these are all different metaphors for things I call the upward spiral, which is what happened to me about 3 or 4 years ago. Actually, I started my journey exactly June 2016. It is now exactly June 2020. So it's been 4 years and or 48 months of this journey for me. And that's why I'm now live broadcasting it to you every day at 9:15, not 9:16. Oh, I almost made it today. Man, you can see my competitive nature. I was rushing around. I woke up so late because I'm exhausted. My allergies are every bone in my body hurts. But I woke up and I rushed down and cooked my omelet, but then I had to take the trash out and the trash put me late. And oh man, I almost got it, right? But do you see how fun it is to have high standards? It's like a game. It's that was exciting to me to try and get here exactly at 9:15, right? And it shouldn't be that hard. I'm blessed to be able to sleep till 8 if I want to. Anyway, so all of Woody's random sidetracks aside, right? What you do to make this happen, to jump rope yourself less, right, is you actually have to start releasing these negative things, okay? What it means is the way you stop hitting yourself as much is stop resisting the pain. And that sounds funny, but for example, right, let's say you're in a fight with your significant other. Let's say it's like me and you have a little spat because you wanted to tell something really deep and important on your heart, and your spouse then looked at their phone and you got mad at them for that, right? That's kind of the type of thing, right? You can see it's just no big deal. Why are you so upset about this? But I used to get upset about this in 2016. And so let's say that's the type of thing happens to you. Here's what you do, and this is a little bit deep because it's a consciousness or focus thing, so it's not super easy to explain, but I think you'll get it. You guys are smart. Is when the person does the thing that triggers you, right? So let's say your trigger happens and you feel like you just got hit. What you actually have to do, okay, is sit with the pain without resisting it, without leaving your body, without running away. So let's say you confess something, you just had a great day. Actually, studies show that people get more upset and mentally hurt when they tell something good and the other person doesn't reciprocate than when they have something bad happen to them. So let's say something good happens to you and you tell somebody and they don't reciprocate. And so you feel hurt, like as if you got jump roped, okay? Like you got hit by that really stretchy, elastic, fast swinging rubber jump rope like I used to use on the tennis team. Here's what you do. You feel all that pain, but you don't resist it, right? There's something that happens when we're in pain where we think, I just want it to stop, I just want it to stop, I just want it to stop, I just want it to stop. And the problem with that, which I keep getting into, another advanced concept, but hey, y'all are smart, is that anytime you say you want something to stop, if it's not going to stop, then you're resisting the laws of physics and reality and you're corrupting your ability to be rational, okay? So you can never want something like that. So rather than saying, I want it to stop, you've got to just say, wow, this hurts and I can survive. And that's all you can say, because that's the truth, is you can survive. And so you sit in that pain, even if your feelings are hurt, even if they're smarting and it really hurts, right? You sit in that pain and you just sit there, and eventually after an hour or two, it goes away, right? Or after a couple, minutes or however, depending on how offended you got or how mentally hurt you got. But by sitting there and staying calm during it, right, then you did not create a new scar. And this is really important, okay? That if you don't run away from your body and just negate yourself and say, I just want to not exist until this is over, right? If you just say, I want to exist, I'm here, I accept this pain, right? It's just pain, that's okay. As long as you're constantly accepting that pain, then you're not creating new scars. And then you go and do activities to heal you. Okay, so then you go do therapy, you go watch my videos, you go listen to my podcast, you go listen to Tony Robbins, you go read The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, or if you want to work on your relationship, you read 5 Love Languages, right? Or if you want to feel more love, you read Love is Letting Go of Fear, or if you want to feel healthier, you, again, full disclosure, Quest Nutrition Bar, wrapper is just here on my desk because I even have a trash can in here. I have a trash can right there, and I just have multiple Quest Nutrition bars on my desk, right? I'm not perfect, whatever. I even have a random pecan on my desk. So, I always try to show my imperfections. There you go. I don't know, that pecan's been there for a long time. I'm going to throw these away on camera. I just love having fun with you guys. I love live TV. It's great. Okay, so now I cleaned up my desk a little bit. But you can see I got a lot of crap on it because I can always just whip stuff out right in front of the camera. It's because it's all sitting on my desk right here. But anyway, that's the 2-step process. And most people get that they try to heal themselves. But the problem is they never get how to stop hitting themselves. And so what most people are doing in life is, first of all, most people are just hitting themselves over and over. Right? They're jump roping as fast as they can, and they get hit, and it creates all these welts. And whether that's a fight with your spouse, or getting frustrated in traffic, or getting mad at work, or getting upset with your family, right? Whatever it is, they keep building up more and more. That's what I used to do. And we all naturally do that as children, as little beings that don't know better. And so we all have it. It's undoubtable. Everyone has this, and that's natural. But I think it's also natural for us to grow out of it, because as we become adults, the beauty of being adults is you get all the happiness of being a child, plus all the rationality of knowing all the negativity you've ever had in your life was a result of just being a child and not being able to understand how the world works. Okay? That's pretty profound, isn't it? I think it's pretty profound that the point of being an adult is not to lose anything from childhood. It's just to keep all the joy of childhood, but let go of every single negativity or emotional, physical, mental, consciousness, negative thought response you've had, because you're now rational enough to understand that the negativity never helps and it always hurts, right? That's what I'm kind of doing when I think of being an adult. That's how I'm growing, okay? And so it's not about earning money or getting status or taking care of a family or any of that. It's about growing to learn that I deserve to be happy and all my negativity doesn't make any sense. So most people are going through life just jump roping, hitting themselves, right? And some people don't even care and they just end up in constant pain and life's constantly worse and they're upset, right? Some people then try to address it by getting better at life, and they work harder, or they get smarter, or they get more degrees, or they get a better job or whatever, thinking that these external things are going to heal them, but it doesn't. And so they then go home and still have their fights with their spouse, or they still get upset, or they still have the same issues, and they feel like life is hopeless because I'm trying to be better, but I can't stop this pain, this emotional pain, this mental pain. And some people go to the next level and they go to therapy, right? And they go to therapy and they're talking it out. Maybe if it was a fight with their spouse, they're going to couples therapy, whatever it is, right? And they're talking it out. But even that person kind of has this idea of therapy as I got to smash the crap out of myself and then go to physical therapy to heal my back up. And then I got to smash the crap out of myself and then go to physical therapy and heal myself up, right? That's how I used to think as I've progressed through all these stages. But then I realized there's another stage
where really all you got to do is learn to sit with the pain, because that's what creates it. It's the suffering you feel, right? Think about it. Somebody says one mean thing to you, but you feel the pain of 30 mean things. Why? It's because you've chosen to suffer those first 29 times, so the 30th one triggers all 29 again. But those 29 things are in the past. They don't exist anymore, right? So there's no reason for them to be there. But you stored them here and here, right? And electrical signals are actually firing, recreating that pain. And it came from resisting in the moment. It came from the moment you hit yourself and you said, oh, I just don't want this to be true. I hate everything. I don't want to exist. This pain hurts. I don't want it, right? But you do want it or you wouldn't be alive. And so you're literally lying to yourself and creating a contradiction, right? Life is beautiful and life is also pain, right? Dead people don't experience pain. Alive people experience pain. Therefore, pain is a sign. Guess what? You're still alive. That's awesome. That's really good news, you know? Guarantee if someone who died, had the choice to have a little bit of pain, they'd keep their life and have a little pain, right? And so you have to approach it that way. And you have to learn how to say, wow, this is extraordinary pain, but I don't want it to go away. I don't want it to not happen. I accept it. And it still hurts. And it may hurt even worse because your other ones are coming up out of you. But then this magical thing will happen. And this is where you have to take me on a little bit of faith, is that if you do this process, this magical thing will happen where at the moment you finally are over it. Let's say somebody said a hurtful thing. Maybe that lasts about an hour and a half. I'm making this up, right? But let's say you're smarting for an hour and a half. But then about a couple hours after that, maybe 3 or 4 hours after, suddenly you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I am so over that. But you're going to realize something else if you sat in the pain. You're going to realize, oh my gosh, I'm so over that, and I don't have any suffering memories of that. That's just a thing that happened. And so, guys, that's the trick. That's the thing everyone's missing. Even people are going to therapy, going to psychiatrists, right, doing coaching programs, all that. Right? I'm not seeing other people focusing on this enough, which is literally just, you've got to tolerate pain. You have to sit with pain because that's part of life and you have to accept it. And when you accept it, every day gets more beautiful. And so for me, honestly, because I'm constantly pushing myself into new frontiers, right? Today I'm hot all over. My allergies hurt. I've been working out really hard. I'm just my body's in a little bit of pain today, or a lot. But I don't wish it away. I'm just going to sit here with it, okay? And so whether it's emotional, physical, whatever pain, right, you got to learn to sit with it. And you got to think about that jump roping effect, right? You got to question, if somebody says one mean thing, why the heck would it hurt like somebody said 30 mean things? I used to think it was my wife's fault because, hey, she should know that I have all these battle scars and she should be super careful around me and always say the right thing. And it's her fault. And I used to tell her that, right? And again, this wasn't over major things. This was I said, honey, I made this discovery. I'm so happy. And she would look at her phone. And then I would give her this whole spiel, right? And I'd be so angry. And I'd be like, we're having feelings time to talk about our feelings. But through this rudimentary process of scrabbling around and figuring it out, now I know what those things are. And so now, I'm just relaxed. And so last night, for example, we were doing stuff together. And then she opened some package that had all this cute stuff in it. And she wanted to take pictures and do Instagram. And so she spent 30 minutes just on her phone. And I was just sitting there. But I didn't feel any jealousy or any frustration or anything. I was just oh, this is great. This is awesome. I don't need her attention to be on me all the time. And so whatever you think your problem is, you can get over it. You can get over literally anything in life. So I hope this little parable of jump roping helps. So you got to ask, right, how can I stop hitting myself? And you have to heal yourself. You got to do both. Otherwise, it won't work. All right, guys, that's the conclusion of this video. I'm going to switch this one off and move straight into my self-reflection time.